The Earth is not round, but flat? What if I say that the Earth is not round, and I also say that the Earth is not even flat? This statement sounds very confusing, and actually, they are confusing. So, what is the explanation behind this mystery? Is there any kind of physics behind the myth? Don't worry, today in this video, we will explain everything to you with proper scientific facts. Hello friends and welcome back to Mystery Explained. We are back again with some exciting and interesting mystery. Today, we are going to solve the Flat Earth mystery. So, make sure to watch the video till the end. Let's not waste time and start the video. In 2017, the US rapper B.o.B, whose actual name is Bobby Ray Simmons Jr., announced a crowdfunding campaign to launch a satellite. The rapper, an outspoken supporter of flat Earth theory, wanted to find evidence that our world is a disk rather than a globe. His goal was to raise $200,000, which later increased to $1 million, on the GoFundMe website in order to send one or more spaceships into space to assist him in finding the curve, the term used by flat earthers to define the edge of our alleged disc-shaped planet. The rapper's journey may appear to be a joke or a promotional ploy. Indeed, there is currently no proof that B.o.B raised much money or came close to his objective. However, in recent years, there has been an alarming increase in the number of people who, like B.o.B, believe in flat Earth beliefs. There is now an annual Flat Earth Conference in the United States, with over 600 people attending the most recent one, and YouTube is filled with films professing to present evidence that the Earth is flat. Physicists may scoff at the concept of a flat Earth, but it is gaining support, particularly among those prone to other conspiracy ideas. They truly believe it, says Lee McIntyre, a Boston University philosopher and authority on the subject of science denial, whose books include Respecting Truth, Willful Ignorance in the Internet Age, Routledge, 2015. McIntyre witnessed for how strongly flat earthers hold their beliefs as he visited the 2018 Flat Earth International Conference in Denver, Colorado, proving the Earth isn't flat. It was McIntyre's work on science denial that led him to the 2018 Flat Earth Conference in Denver, where delegates spent time discussing the evidence and finer details of their theory, as well as the supposed conspiracy that flat earthers believe is shielding their ideas from the wider public. I thought that if I could understand how to push back against flat earthers, I could use the same techniques to fight back against climate change deniers and anti-vaxxers, he says. After all, their ideas are all generally based on fallacies and misunderstanding of science. Some of the flat earthers know enough physics to throw around the vocabulary, but they don't actually understand enough physics to be compelled by the truth. But even without the visual confirmation of pictures taken from space, many of the arguments used by flat Earth proponents can easily be dismissed with trigonometry or basic physical laws. A good place to start is with Foucault's pendulum, the device named after the French physicist Léon Foucault, who in 1851 famously hung a heavy 28-kilogram brass bob from a 67-meter chain in the Pantheon in Paris. Such a pendulum, which can swing in any plane, changes direction during the course of a day, yielding direct evidence of the Earth's rotation. Though, as Slager points out, that hasn't stopped some flat earthers claiming that all Foucault pendulums are fraudulent and that museums use magnetic coils to turn the plane of the pendulum's rotation to make the Earth seem to rotate. Another phenomenon that proves the Earth is a spinning globe is the Coriolis force, which acts perpendicular to the direction of motion of a spinning mass. This force leads to cyclones swirling clockwise in the southern hemisphere and counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere, through the direction of winds. It also impacts ocean currents. Long-range military snipers even have to make allowance for deflections caused by the Coriolis effect. Indeed, as Slager points out, getting physics students to explain the evidence for a spherical spinning Earth is a great critical thinking exercise. What if I say Earth is not round as well? As several images from space show, Earth is round, the blue marble, as astronauts affectionately refer to it. However, appearances can be deceiving. The Earth, in fact, is not exactly round. This is not to claim that the Earth is flat. Aristotle and other ancient Greek scholars suggested that the Earth was round long before Columbus sailed the ocean blue. According to geographer Bill Karstenen of Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, this was based on a number of observations, including the fact that departing ships not only appeared smaller as they sailed away, but also seemed to sink towards the horizon, as one might expect were sailing over a ball. Isaac Newton was the first to claim that the Earth was not entirely round. Instead, he proposed an oblate spheroid, a sphere that is compressed at its poles and swelled at its equator. He was correct, and the distance from Earth's center to sea level is around 21 kilometers, or 13 miles larger near the equator than at the poles due to this bulge. According to geologist Vic Baker of the University of Arizona in Tucson, Earth is not like a spinning top composed of steel, a small amount of flexibility that permits the shape to deform somewhat. The effect would be akin to spinning a piece of silly putty, though Earth's plasticity is far less than that of the silicone plastic clay that children are familiar with. Our world, on the other hand, is not even a perfect oblate spheroid, since mass is dispersed unevenly within it. According to geologist Joe Meert of the University of Florida in Gainesville, the larger the concentration of mass, the stronger the gravitational attraction, producing bumps around the world. The form of the Earth changes over time due to a variety of other dynamic forces. The movement of mass within the globe alters the gravitational anomalies. Plate tectonics causes mountains and valleys to form and disappear. Meteors crater the Earth's surface on occasion. The moon and sun's gravitational pull generate not just ocean and atmospheric tides, but also Earth tides. Furthermore, the changing weight of the seas and atmosphere can produce crustal deformations on the order of a centimeter or so, according to geophysicist Richard Gross of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. There's also post-glacial rebound, with the crust and mantle depressed by the massive ice sheets that rested on the surface during the previous ice age, now rebounding upward at a centimeter every year. Furthermore, the entire surface of the Earth will rotate and try to redistribute mass along the equator, a process known as genuine polar wander, Meert explains, to smooth out Earth's uneven distribution of mass and maintain its spin. According to Gross, scientists are already positioning thousands of global positioning system sensors on the ground that can detect changes in height of a few millimeters. Another method, known as satellite laser ranging, involves firing visible wavelength lasers at satellites from a few hundred ground stations. Any changes in their orbits that are identified correspond to gravitational anomalies and consequently mass distributions throughout the planet. Another technique, extremely long baseline interferometry, uses radio telescopes on the ground to detect changes in ground station placements by listening to extragalactic radio waves. It may not take much technology to realize that the Earth is not exactly spherical, but determining its true form requires considerable effort and equipment. Let's assume you are in the middle of an argument where people around you want to believe that the Earth is flat. So, how do you prove them wrong? Let me tell you. 1. Watch a ship sail off to sea. It is impossible to view the curvature of the Earth without being in the sky. However, if you visit a harbor or any site with a wide open view of the water, you may always witness a demonstration of this. If you have the opportunity to see a ship sail away to sea, keep an eye on its mast and flag as it fades into the distance. You'll observe that it doesn't fade out into the distance at all. Instead, its mast and flag appear to sink steadily. The ship sailed past the spot where you could see it. Bring a set of binoculars just in case, so you can see even further into the distance. It's as though you're watching it go over a hill on the other side. Only a sphere-shaped planet can explain this occurrence. 2. Watch a lunar eclipse. Solar eclipses receive the most attention, but if you catch a peek of a lunar eclipse, you can find evidence that the Earth is, in fact, round. This is how it works. The Earth passes between the moon and the sun, causing the sun to cast its shadow on the moon in the night sky. You've most likely witnessed a partial lunar eclipse without even realizing it. If the moon appears orange, it's an indication of a lunar eclipse. If you've ever witnessed a total lunar eclipse, you'll notice that the shadow does not appear like this. A circular shadow moved across a round object. This does not sound like something that would happen if we were on a plane with all the celestial bodies merely hovering overhead, or perhaps more ridiculously, if the sun orbited Earth rather than the other way around. The most recent complete lunar eclipse occurred on January 31st, 2018, but it was not visible in the majority of the United States. Not to worry, you only have to wait a few months for one to appear in the Americas. So this was all about this video. Tell us in the comment box, were you aware of this fact? If yes, is there any other fact that you know about? If not, then tell us how many things you learned today through this work. If you want to say anything else, please let us know in the comment box. We appreciate any kind of feedback from you. And if you like the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching!